Listen to this track, bitch.
Anyways,
Back to.
let me make sure we didn't run out of all right, we're still good.
Feel like we got about 20 minutes.
That has happened to us many times. That must just be like,
stop. We'd be an hour into it. Like 20 minutes ago. Wait, what? You mean to tell me this?
All right, we're back. We're about to check out this next one. My fault. Edit. Phone section. Between the Raindrops. That'll be the last one. And then I want to check out this J-Rock song with y'all.
Oh, yeah, now we talking.
So, let's go.
And here we go.
Waiting for you when the pain stops. Walking between the raindrops. Waiting for you when the pain stops. Walking between the raindrops. Waiting for you when the pain stops. Walking between the raindrops. Waiting for you when the pain stops. Yeah, we walking. And he was barely 17, started to study music and delve deeper. Had an affection for voice inflection and verbal belief, and no speech for the trappers. He's more concerned with the trapper keepers, keeping his raps in his binder. Out of the side of teachers, he speaks to his kids that he's familiar with. Roaming the halls, hauling his ass to his class like a chameleon is. Blending with the student body, embodying pious desires. He looks at life through a lens without a social bias. It's buying him time so he can find what his purpose is. His average grades are a barricade to a certain beard. Asserting himself is a luxury that he can't afford. His mental health's a concern his family just ignores. He found solace in the promise of the instrumentals he downloaded from YouTube. It's incidental. He studied Tupac, Biggie, Wu-Tang, and all the masters. A wealth of knowledge, decided to write another chapter. Waiting for you when the pain stops. Walking between the raindrops. Waiting for you when the pain stops. Walking between the raindrops. Waiting for you when the pain stops. Walking between the raindrops. Waiting for you when the pain stops. We walking. Fascinated by the culture, he sat on his granny's sofa with his headphones fully attached to his ear, smearing a red tone. A tactical game to aim controllers at the television. Compared to friends, his taste in music is very different. He's into the boom bap. It's safe to assume that makes him a pariah, outcast, and an outlier. He tried to conform, but his force and his inclination. He likes to feel a challenge. His peers appear impatient. He's pacing between his house and the train station. Homies from the block seem shocked when they hear him making the same statement. Fuck the beat if the lyrics ain't saying nothing. You can lean on the lean, but I'd rather wait for some substance. Something's brewing beneath the surface. He said it's gotta be more than life to fucking and getting high. We need a purpose. We need to purchase some shelter until the pain stops. Until then, I'll be walking between the raindrops. Waiting for you when the pain stops. Walking between the raindrops. Waiting for you when the pain stops. Walking between the raindrops. Waiting for you when the pain stops. Walking between the raindrops. Waiting for you when the pain stops. We walking.
I think the whole flow of this album's probably gonna be a mellowed out
boom bap.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a little bit more enthusiasm to it.
right.
Or a little more intention. I'd say that.
But I kind of feel like we 3 songs deep plus a intro, so it's kind of going the same flow.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of guessing that's why it's 8 tracks, because it's probably the same flow of the album. But that was a little story for you to kind of get an understanding of who he was. That's why I took it anyways.
Yeah.
But you know.
I didn't get that, I'm gonna be honest. Because to me, that was more so like, that was more like now, like somebody growing up right now. Because he talking about lean, and he talking about, I ain't trying to listen to it, if it ain't got lyrics. hierarchies.
Yeah.
Like he talking about a lot. Like it reminded me of like a lot of my cousins, like how everybody else on this like certain type of wave of music, but
Yeah.
even though they like 17, 16, they still like play some boom bap, you know what I mean?
True.
So, I mean, you could be right. Maybe he kind of like what I'm noticing. You kind of right.
He could be mixing it.
Yeah,
too.
that's what I was about to say. I think he
Back
might
and
be.
forth.
Yeah, he putting
Makes
it's
it.
from his perspective growing up, and then it's also like something you can learn from as you know,
Right.
as the youth growing up. So,
I think by adding new stuff and his experiences, not only does it make it a character that can be related to him, either one or the other, but it makes it more relevant. Because if he's just talking about stuff, say for example, he our age, you know, and there's 15, 16-year-olds who consider there like to be a gap, you know.
yeah.
Then they won't even, they'd be like, oh, okay, that's y'all. Y'all old niggas, this and that, blah, blah, blah. They don't even regard anything that we have to say as far as music concerns. Like, that's a different generation, new age, new time. But if you throw some recent stuff in there, or some stuff that's current, then it bridges that gap.
I just want to do a short video on that too, to be honest with you, because I need to ask that question since you guys are my age, but that whole generational thing and this title stuff. But I think you're kind of right. I think it's a mix between the two. Like it's a little bit
You
of
talking about this song?
yeah, that song is a mix between his time and now, basically. Because I really didn't catch that lean bar until you just said it. Until
Yeah, he was talking about being an outcast, but it was like the whole point he was pushing was like you an outcast because you into like the classic hip hop thing, and you like kind of like a loner artist type individual. You know?
True.
What was fun is it used to be the opposite. If you wasn't talking about nothing, you would get clowned off the planet. Now,
I want to take it back because me and one of my brothers had a little debate about this because we were talking about hip hop, and I told him for a while now. I said, man, you gotta kind of look at it like this. Most of the artists that we grew up with had substance to their albums, but they always made sure to make that catchy radio song that was going to be on that album, but that was going to get played on the radio. You know what I mean? Basically, like now, an entire album sounds like a radio song would sound to us back in the day. You feel what I'm saying?
something you threw together to get their attention.
So like you still had like take DMX. You still had all that DMX. You still had all that X-Man substance, but then you had get it on the floor, get it on the floor. You know what I'm saying? You still had that, and they had to do that for the company to be able to push the album with a radio song. But then you buy the album, you're like, okay, that was cool. Then you hear the album, you're like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? That's where the substance was at. You know what I'm saying?
This is X.
I believe it's now just an entire album from these new rappers. Is just all sounds radio.
But the thing about it is that's what they grew up on.
True.
Like there was back then, it wasn't about for the kids now. It wasn't about getting the full aspect of somebody's talent or skill. It's about what they can keep your attention with. You know, that's the TV generation. You know, they still watch all these little kid shows, so I don't have to watch you. That's to listen to the radio, so there's noise to keep you occupied.
That's also, that got a lot to do with like art imitating life, because what you have is, you have like the dope boys who came up selling dope, and then they made music about selling dope, and so the kids here, then they think it's cool to sell dope, not realizing that, oh, you selling dope because you had to sell dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, oh, it's cool to sell dope, so that's what I'm gonna do. So it's the same with the music. So when you got all the radio hits and it's like, you know, twerk this and do that and do this, you got kids who gonna grow up, they gonna hear it, and they not buying albums, so
like
they,
yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's
they
what
don't know
is.
what else. They don't realize that's a part of the album. That's
One part.
Yeah, that's like one. You know what I'm saying? and that's not for everybody. You know, some people will make a whole twerking album. You know, that's why you got 2 Live Crew. But I'm saying, but they still, they still, you know what I'm saying? They still, a lot of the younger cats growing up and they own that. But we shouldn't focus on that because I hate when people focus on that because it is a lot of dope rappers coming up and it's some rappers out here who it seems like on the surface they pushing a lot of nonsense, but their albums are really dope though when you really get into them. I don't think it's as bad as the media is making it look as far as like what's going on with these younger rappers. I'm putting it out. I'm just telling you.
Well, the media makes all urban entertainment look bad. So as far as that, I fully agree on that. It's just when it comes to us dealing with each other or holding everybody responsible as far as like what's accepted or what's, you know, like
that right there is the issue.
Yeah.
What's that?
We stopped teaching. We stopped being OGs. We stopped having OGs. I'm put it that way. We stopped having OGs. It used to be a rapper would have to get an acknowledgement from the generation before them. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So now when you get the SoundCloud rappers, they're getting their acknowledgement from the masses.
Okay, yeah. That's a different ballgame.
Yeah. Right. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that's where we start falling short at.
I mean
you
the
know
culture?
what?
You mean
Yeah, the culture, yeah.
Okay.
Even with that,
Yeah.
because of that, it started on Facebook. It started on Facebook.
True.
What started on Facebook?
I'm sorry, not Facebook.
MySpace.
MySpace. Yeah, I was like, it was blue. It was blue.
Yeah.
3 heads. It started on MySpace before SoundCloud. Where people just be like, oh, here's my stuff. You know, the fact that they uploaded something was that validation. It wasn't let me run it through, you know, my team. Let me run it through, you know, attached audience. Let's do a listening party. Like it's just, I made this. And I made it last night. I recorded everything. Here, this is me. You know,
So
and anybody who said anything negative is like, oh, you just
So
hate
what are
me.
y'all saying at like the base of what y'all saying? What are y'all trying to say as far as?
Oh, accountability was just lost. That's it. Like back then, there was a lot of challenges that you went
there's
through.
a blame, who's to blame?
But you can't really blame one person.
No.
Because not only
I'm not
are-
blaming a person. I'm blaming
one.
a generation, and I honestly believe it was our generation.
Well, real quick.
I'm gonna say-
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Before we get into that, look at the overall understanding of what the hierarchy of respect was. 20 years ago, when we were growing up, anybody older than you was yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. Now it's you ain't my daddy, you ain't my mama, shut the hell up. Like kids say that to other adults.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, you would get slapped by your parents, and possibly, if they weren't close enough, they would let a family member slap the hell out of you for saying that. And
I'm gonna say I blame our generation because now we're kind of the OGs. But what I've noticed from our generation is when we see something, we be like, "That's trash," and then be like, and then walk away from it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's no like
instead of being like, "Come here, bro."
Yeah,
Come here, man.
Yeah.
Come here, man. Let me
Let
let me listen to it one more time.
I'm gonna tell you like the internet and just from my perspective on what y'all saying is I think it's less the OGs, you know what I mean? It's not saying it's not some of the OGs because a lot of kids need OGs, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's less that and more so just the times we living in and the progression, and how and where society is headed. You know what I mean?
No, that's what I was getting at.
Not too much has changed. You know what I'm saying? Since the early 2000s, and you know what I'm saying? It's just that now you can get on SoundCloud and be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? So
and the fact that you have an account is in your mind, your own validation.
Yeah, you can get on YouTube like that. It's not to say it couldn't have been like that in the past.
We didn't have access to
We
it.
just didn't have it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
we just didn't have access to
so
it.
that ain't had nothing to do with the
There's a
OGs.
lot
That's
less,
just
yeah.
that's just technology. You know what I'm saying? That's the wave.
Yeah,
So,
there's that availability.
You gotta adapt to that, and kids are adapting, and that ain't got nothing to do with OGs, because a lot of it don't matter to a certain extent, because when you can get online and say I'm a rapper now, you could have never stepped out your room. You know what I'm saying? You could never have lived anything that's in your raps. You know what I mean? You could possibly not be rapping about anything that you have to have lived. You know what I'm saying? You could get on. You could just be rapping about cartoons and stuff that really don't exist. You know what I'm saying? But you can be that rapper. You know what I'm saying? And I think that mixed with the fact that it's a lot of what is it? Just shock value. So it becomes less about the music and more about likes and more about clicks and more about, you know what I'm saying, getting your following up.
That, and I think because people, no matter what your personality is, you have to be a certain way to keep everybody's attention when you're performing. They take stage presence and turn it into a persona. So they literally say, oh, because I'm not like this, but I have to be this completely different, person on stage, like that's a different person. So I can essentially pretty much say whatever, and I get away with it because that's just this personality. It's just me being this person. When I go under this rap name or this stage name, I do this, I can become another person. Plus, a lot of people's lying anyway. Just what it is.
Yeah.
Or glorifying something that they either no longer do or didn't know nothing about.
Yeah, it's a lot of factors in it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of factors.
Yeah, it was. That's what I'm saying. It's never one thing. And the thing about it was, it might be partially the OGs, but at the same time, due to the lack of hierarchy or the detachment even of families.
You can't get the OGs in everywhere. You know what I'm saying? The
No,
OGs
you're
can't
not.
be a part of everything.
But
True.
what I'm saying is
Like,
that's like a tenth. That might even be 1% of the whole pie.
Yeah,
Because the thing about it is, even with the OGs there, that the respecting your elders or the lack of hierarchy, they wouldn't even get listened to if they did have somebody say, "Hey man, come here." I mean, I get what you're saying, but that's back then. Like what was the Lil Yachty was saying on one of them shows that they was rapping on. I'm not gonna rap. I'm not even rapping rock stuff. That's all that stuff. Yeah. I don't know if it was.
No, that was Lil Uzi Vert.
Uzi. No. It was. They both said it.
Oh, okay.
Cause this is the dude with the long red dress.
But see, it's really kind of like, in my opinion, bro, it's really kind of been like that. It ain't really. It wasn't so. It wasn't so much that the supposedly most popular cat was out there saying it, but it's people who have said it in the past. You know what I'm saying?
No. It's people who have said it, but overall, it's been
just
a certain way.
Yeah, it just is.
Now
there's just
it's a
never
lot
been like
less.
a movement behind it. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
It-
Like
that's
nothing
all it
has
is.
changed. Like what you was saying, nothing has changed. But the thing about it is the direction is going. It's progressing in that direction. When we were
Yeah, it's getting
younger,
out of hand. Yeah, you right.
well,
about
when
that.
we were younger, to our parents, rap and hip hop and R&B, but R&B to the church community was overly sexualized. There's
rapping was too violent.
Yeah, rapping was too violent, aggressive.
Yeah. All those. all
pop
those
was the
factors.
devil's me. Like rock was Satan
Satan,
devil worshippers.
yeah.
Like everything had a negative stigma to it to the older generation. But to our grandparents, what our parents listened to
Same
was
Same
trash, or
trash.
what was overly sexual. Like
Yep.
Elvis was too provocative, and all he
Yeah.
did was
Still
rub his knees together. You know what I'm saying? Like, still black people's music. Yeah. I was about to say.
Still some black people.
Still the black people. Yeah, but I'm saying James Brown, like all people who danced to music, if it wasn't gospel to our grandparents, was like, oh, that's
No, I completely
So,
agree with that.
music to every generation is always like, oh, back in my day, music was like this. We listened to real music.